Hi, it's Delia. Thanks for clicking on. So, I'll see how short I can be today. Creativity is the essence of life itself and consciousness and everything. And creativity can be expressed through painting or art or, the traditional ways. But creativity is really in everything. You can be creatively present as you're washing the dishes, and it can turn into a fantastic conversation with someone, someone that you admire who's dead. It can be all kinds of things. And the magic ingredient is that you're present, right? When you're present, you have an easy hand at creativity. You can turn I was talking to someone who has a really great new job, but it's a significantly less income every year. And we were talking about creative ways to enjoy her new life, instead of just being wretched over the altered income status. So things like making a game out of tallying up all the money she saved today by not spending, which is actually a very rejuvenating way to approach not spending. And being able to be creative about how you navigate the world. There's a thing on Facebook called Buy Nothing, and it's done by neighborhoods. And it's a great way to be in the flow of stuff. You can put stuff up on Buy Nothing for people to come and take away, or they can, or you can put up a request for something, ISO, in search of. It's a very creative way to move materials in the world. Some of us are really tired of buying new stuff all the time, and when we only need it occasionally. I think there are libraries where you can rent or borrow equipment, hand saws and stuff like that. So the more you're using your creativity in your everyday life. Another example would be the way you get to work. Some people take the same route every day. You can be creative about how you get to work, or where you go, what route you take, right? And there's just a million, for any task that you're doing, there's 10 ways that you could be doing it differently than how you've ever thought of doing it. And the more you are creative in your tasks and in anything and everything, the more you learn in a very visceral way that you can affect things. Not necessarily, I know people who have a lot of money who do it with, they can buy anything. But the you in the buying anything is not the thing. You don't, it's not fulfilling for very long, because it's the money that's doing the work. And the more you're using your creativity and the more you're being in the present, the more you're discovering, I am the thing that's activated here. I am the thing that's making the difference here. And it's deeply satisfying to your whole system, to all your parts, all your inner family members, to find out that you are the magic. And you are the magic by what you choose to do and how you choose to see things. So if we're in this modern world, we're trained by school and business and everything else to problem solve. Well, if you're a really good problem solver, that means that you're really good at perceiving problems. Okay? And all of that you have, all of that honing and practicing that you have used towards seeing problems could be used towards seeing what's right about things. It's a lot more generative to look for what's strong instead of what's wrong. Either way, next steps are to be taken. Next steps, where do we go next? How do we grow this? How do we reshape that? There's always next steps. And the lie is that you have to be a problem solver. And you have to be honed into problems. And that's what you're going to get the credit for. And it's a depleting way of approaching things. And it's not creative really at all. However, if you look for what's right about things, if you look for what's strong about stuff, then you can get an idea of how to work with whatever the deal is organically. And by validation, you can attract more of what's working. And the creative process is essential. I know there's lots of talk about being creative, about problem solving, but it's still anchored in what's wrong. And being anchored in what's wrong is depleting. It's like depressing or overwhelming, and then underneath all of that, it's just boring. So if you're always looking for what's right about something, what's right in this situation, like during COVID, I would play this game with myself about what's right about what's happening, because there was so much wrong with what was happening, right? The shutdown, and everybody was adjusting, everybody was cranky, everybody was isolating. It was a very, very difficult experience that we really haven't gotten over. So I would play this in my head, what's right about this. And there were lots of things that were right. The streets were emptier. It was easier to get around. It was more pleasant for me. Expectations changed because no one could expect you to jump around all the time and be all these different places all the time. I liked that. And I liked that people were slowing down. I liked that people were washing their hands more. I wish that we would. I don't understand when we got away from washing our hands. It's such a simple way to keep everybody healthy, starting with yourself, right? So navigating through what's right is actually more generative. It has more vitality, it has more oomph, it has more energy, it's more exciting, it's more fun. It's easier to enroll other people when it's let's grow what's right. Let's grow what's generative. Let's grow what's fair. Let's grow what is abundant and is most, the best well-being for everybody. That's the most fun. To have a safe community, people have to feel safe in themselves and in their homes and in their bodies. So, let's do what is necessary to make the world a more, safe and nurturing and fun kind of a place, because then, the real out-of-the-box kind of initiative and innovations can come. People's imaginations can come off of how to survive and how to keep my body safe or protected or fed, and into what would be a great thing to create, right? I mean, there are people, you always hear about these really amazing innovators, high school kids that figure out how to get the water from the humidity to give their village water. I mean, there's just incredible. There's the high school kid who figured out how to clean up the ocean, how to pick up the garbage in the ocean. The amount of innovation and creativity and generative thinking and life force energy on the planet is huge. There's like over 8 billion souls with bodies. So it's an incredibly prolific time once we get out of survival. And there are a lot of, there's 10 people who own everything. And they all talk about how in 20, 30, 40 years, there's not going to be any people. So their vision sucks because their vision includes getting rid of humanity. It doesn't make any sense, trust me, to have all the money and to kill all the people. You're king of the hill of what hill? An anthill? So never try to make sense out of insane people, okay? And these days, billionaires they're trained psychopaths. I mean, the system of reward in our culture warps your values and makes you. I mean, just look at Oprah. She used to be so good, and so for individuals, and now she goes to Bezos's wedding. So there's something in the system of reward that makes people crazy. During the COVID, after COVID, I mean, in that frame of mind of looking for what's right about things, at some point I was reminded about Star Trek, the original Star Trek series. And I know some new series of theirs came out, and I was watching it. And in that new series, which is now an old series, I can't remember which one, but they were talking about how there was an episode where they were splitting the timelines, and they went to an alternate timeline, and they had to fix something there to fix things. You know how sci-fi is. And while they were there, they were from different timelines, and they were talking to each other. They were working together. And they said how humanity had come to this great crescendo of destruction. And out of that destruction, out of that mass cacophony and disarray, is where the Federation came from. And of course, in the Federation, there's no money, and everybody's needs are met, and everybody has health care. Everybody has what they need. It's a right to be alive, and it's a right to have that life protected and cared for and fed. And from there, they created a community of cooperation and generative living, right? Inclusive. And that's kind of their founding cornerstone is, I can't remember now, inclusive, cooperative, and something else. The point is, we don't have to buy the bill of goods that the way things are is the way they're going to be, which is not true. We don't have to buy the bill of goods that nothing has changed, because things change all the time. And we don't have a good way to measure consciousness and consciousness changing. But I guarantee you the consciousness today is different than it was in 1970 or 1950 or 1990, right? Live long enough and you'll see how consciousness changes in a society. Everything that you aspire to, everything that you desire, not as a reaction against something, but in your heart of hearts. You wanted it as a child. It got you excited when you were a kid. It's the thing that if you had the time and space for it, you would be doing it all the time. You may be disconnected from it. You may know exactly what it is. You may be doing it. But I guarantee you there is more. You can have more of it in your life, and you can be doing it more in your life. And creativity is the way to get there. That's the key. That'll get you there. And creativity is definitely a spiritual superpower. It's absolutely a spiritual superpower. It is part of our magicness, our magical beingness. And the more you apply creativity and out-of-the-box thinking to anything, the more fun it's going to be and the more generative it'll be. Fun is a big value of mine because it means everything is flowing, everything is connecting, nothing is lacking. It has nothing to do with being superficial. Real fun comes from being, being aware of everything. It's like consciousness. Consciousness, awareness of everything and judging nothing. Creativity is the same way. If you're just seeing what is and wondering about, well, what else could be, you will find what else could be, and then you can apply yourself to that. The tech bros like to say that, they have a lock on the future and AI is going to eat up humans and all the stuff. What if that's sci-fi? And what if that's their wishful thinking? Because there's 8 billion of us and there's only 10 of them. Or even if there was 20,000 of them, it doesn't matter, we still have them outnumbered. And the more you're connected to what makes you sing and gets you excited, the more that future is going to come into being because of what you're doing. So there's a thing smaller than baby steps, and that's noticing. And where you put your attention is what grows. So in any given moment, you can be aware of, on this side, there is dystopian future. And on this side, there is a continuation of the same and just a lot of struggle. But I guarantee you, in between those two, there is a huge variety of other possibilities that are beyond both of those. And you have all the equipment to perceive and take steps towards using your creativity, and you can bring it into being. Because if you bring it into being in your life for one afternoon, or for 10 minutes, or for 10 seconds, you're bringing it into being in the world. So, okay, so much for my being brief, but thanks for checking in. I'll see you next time. Bye.